Okay, welcome everybody to the nearly nude New Year. I'm here again with Jen. She's super happy and not dressed anything like she was in the previous special. Ooh, we call that the magic of editing, kids. So it has been a long, somewhat shitty year. So we're all looking forward to 2022. But
Well,
I think we can all agree, at least on a world level, this year was way better than last year. Last
uh,
year was a suck fest. This year wasn't great, but much better than 2020. So
on a
he's
work
hoping that 2022 is much better.
I don't know, on a personal level, I think 2021 was a little bit worse for me, but
Well, me too. But we're gonna try to keep it on the positive because otherwise we're just gonna sit here and cry.
yes,
So
no
I
tears.
couldn't think of anything really to share, so I thought I'd just smell some candles. This is called cranberry nut muffin.
Is this what we call instead of everything coming up roses, everything coming up candles?
Everything coming up cranberry nut muffin. Like you literally wanted a holiday smelling breakfast candle. Here you go. And I cannot light this because the bacon alarm will go off. And if you've been watching our show, you know what that is. I miss bacon. I have some in the freezer. I could eat it right now, but then the entire building will be like, Lawson,
Mm,
this
that is very
just in
sad.
time for 2 months late for Halloween. Vampire blood,
Ooh.
which suspiciously smells like cotton candy, but I'm not a maker of candles, so what the fuck do I know?
Huh.
Ah, so you got big plans for tonight being New Year's Eve?
I'm pretty sure we might be asleep before it even turns New Year's Day because it's just, having a little one now on a schedule and I still work nights. I might be the only one up still. We'll see. I
You'd just be there with like a glass of whiskey and like take the shade off of the lamp so you have like a naked lamp, naked light bulb, and you're just watching and you're just like, Happy New Year.
yeah.
Like
Um,
a private detective, right?
yep.
Um,
And then I have to work tomorrow night, so I'll probably, yeah, I don't know. That's the beauty of the hospital. I have to work some part of every holiday, no matter if it's the night before or the night of or then the day after that starts because it's night shift. It's weird.
it could be worse. What if you were stationed somewhere right on the international date line? You're
Oh,
literally, no matter what, it's like you could go home 12 hours later and it's the same day.
yeah, it's
Go back in time to go home and go forward in time to go to work.
already confusing enough because I'm I go to work on one day and I leave work on the next day. So whenever I'm like trying to fill out dates and stuff, I'm like, I never know what day it is. And everyone's like, how do you not know what day it is? I'm like, I don't know because I work over the night. So to me, it's still Monday night, but really at midnight, it's Tuesday. But to me, it's still Monday because I came in on a Monday and now it's Tuesday. And then I sleep all day Tuesday. And then I get up and I'm like, is it still Monday or is it Tuesday? And like, just, I can't. It's
I
very,
can imagine you being at like somebody's cookout and you just look confused. You're like, Jen, are you okay? And you're like, why the fuck is the sun out?
right? Yeah, that's exactly,
Because it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You're like, is it?
yep.
Why? I don't know. It just is.
That's my life. That's my life. I never know when I work next. My family laughs. They're like, so what's your schedule this week? And I was like, I don't know. I worked last night. Well, when do you work again? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, what do you mean you don't know when you work again? I'm like, I have to look at my calendar. But how do you, I said, I know I don't work tonight, so it doesn't matter. I have to look at my calendar to see when I work again. And they're like, yeah, it's funny. I don't know. If I were ever admitted to the hospital, like they ask you what day it is, what year it is, what month and stuff, they would consider me not alert and oriented because I will never know what the actual day and time is.
The play of your life is going to be called A Midsummer Night's Day Shift.
Mm-hmm. That would be perfect.
Oh,
Be it so. I don't know.
have you ever been at like in your break room or something, or looking at your phone, and then like you said, you forget what day it is, and you're like, did I forget to do that thing last week? Like,
Yes.
oh my God, because it's November. They're like, Jen, it's December. You're like,
Yes.
that's even worse.
Yes.
I
That
lost
is
a whole month.
that has happened. Yep.
Man. Whew. Um, have you had instances? I'm gonna just assume you have, because that makes an ass out of you and me. Where you were at like a New Year's Eve party and then you woke up somewhere and it wasn't another person's house and it wasn't your own house. It was like either a business or like a restaurant or a bar or something. Did you ever wake up there and it's like so much later and like there's no one else there but you?
No, I've never been blackout drunk. Um,
Try it. No, I'm just kidding.
no, no thanks. I mean, I think like what like when I was going through my divorce, the one New Year's Eve, I may have come close. Like there are bits and pieces that I don't quite remember, but that was like the only time in my life that I've ever been like that. Because I don't usually, I'm not a big drinker, never really have been. But
Really? Because there's this whole era of your past called your 20s.
yeah, I was really sick though with my thyroid problem in my 20s. So when everybody was out partying, I was
Eating
sleeping.
peanut butter.
No, I was sleeping like 18 hours a day trying to go to college and work and everything. So I skipped over that whole thing. And I just did a brief, like a couple months of it going through my divorce. And that's all I needed. Just a couple months of that.
Let's see if I can remember. There were a couple of times. Somebody should just write a book about me. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna forget half of this stuff in a couple of years, but there was a time, well, when I used to live with Jim and Terry, there was some shenanigans there because they had some pretty crazy parties. But I even before that, when I had my own place, um, I remember there was like this old guy who lived either like right underneath me or like the next, like maybe diagonal down from me or something. And we'd always be up late, like watching movies and like a lot of sports stuff, a lot of like action movies and stuff. And I'd have something playing and then I'd go down to the laundry room and carry my basket and he would just walk by and all I hear was like young people and their fucking almost like there's no one in there but me. What does he think I'm watching? Jesus. I mean, it's going on for like 2 hours. I mean, I like to think I know my way around certain things, but I mean, I think I would be like an empty husk at that point. What does he think's going on in there? But yeah, there was a couple times. I remember waking up in the laundry room when I lived in Santa Monica. And that was weird. I remember there was a Korean woman and she came in and she kicked me in the shin. And she was just like, some of us need to do laundry. Okay. And I was like, right. It's a door and and then she came back later and she was like, I was
Did
like,
I
right, right.
did I ever tell you about my sleepwalking?
No.
So when I was a kid, I slept walked a couple of times. It wasn't like a habitual thing or anything, but as an adult, I've found that if I work 3 night shifts in a row and I don't sleep well, like I don't, because sometimes like I'll lay in bed, but I just toss and turn all day, and then I still have to get up and work again all night. So I'm only getting a couple hours of sleep. After 3 nights of that, I apparently I was sleepwalking one day and Nick was home. It was like a weekend, and he was following me around the house because I wasn't making sense and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, he's like, "What are you doing now?" And I was like, "I'm gonna cook steaks as big as these steaks are as big as my feet." Apparently, I had drug the electric grill outside on the deck, and told him I was going to grill these steaks as big as my feet. So now he's trying to look for these steaks because he didn't even know if we had steaks or if I pulled steaks out of the freezer. And fortunately, no steaks were involved. Um, but yeah, I apparently while he was cleaning up something else that I had done, like I pulled something out, like towels or something, and he was putting those away. And in the time he put those away, it was like he was following around a toddler. But but I was
He was like,
sleepwalking.
no.
I was sleepwalking. I drug the grill outside and told him I was going to grill steaks as big as my feet. And I
I don't
don't
know
know.
why. And if you went out to a restaurant and ordered the foot steak, they would be like, yes, we have that. And he would be like, that's a thing. I thought she was full of it. Holy shit.
Full of steak.
Foot steak. Not a mistake, a foot steak.
Mm.
So there was a time when, oh God, not my, to think about which car I had. Probably when oh my God, had to be in my early 20s, I think, when I had an Oldsmobile. And I remember leaving the bar where I was and then going out, and I was like, I'm just not in any shape to drive, but this is like before cell phones and stuff. So I remember crawling into the back of the car, and then in the morning I just heard like, and apparently I had crawled into the back of a car that I thought was my car, but was not my car, and it just happened to be open. And it was a summer night, and they had just left the window down, and I crawled into the window and just fell asleep. And they were like, "You smell like pee and shame. Can you leave our car?" And I was like, "Oh shit, yeah. Oh, where's my car? We don't know you, man. We don't know your car. Get out of our car." Yeah, there was a couple of times where I almost, and I had some friends that were nice enough to kind of save me, that I almost passed out near the river. The river. I almost passed out, like there are all those benches down there, and I think, I probably would have gotten up to pee or something if I would have fallen asleep there and just right into the river. So there were a lot of what I call shenanigans from Kent from about 20, 25 years ago. So
Yeah, I was part of some of those. I remember we had College Towers. We lived at College Towers, and there was a swimming pool down there. And I don't know how it even started. Someone's like jumping in the pool, and I said, "Hold on." And I ran all the way downstairs and jumped in the pool fully clothed and came back upstairs. And everyone was like, "Did you just jump in the pool?" And I said, "Yeah."
you're like, it's Tuesday, of course.
Yeah, I mean, and I was completely sober at that point. So,
You were just like, psh.
on purpose. I just, whatever.
Yeah, there were times. God, what is the name of the place that has the rock formations that everybody always drives to, and you can walk down in between, like where the glaciers have cut through? It's like a big national park in
Yosemite.
Ohio. Oh, what's it called? I'm gonna be so mad because I used to like to go there in the fall when all the leaves were changing color, and you could stand back in the parking lot and take pictures of. And it was kind of cool. You could walk down in between like giant like stone, like where the glaciers had kind of cut through. It's like a gorge or something.
Are you talking about out in Ohio?
It's in Ohio, Garrettsville, maybe.
Oh,
What?
Virginia Kindle Ledges?
That's probably it. Nelson Ledges, right?
Well, Nelson Ledges is another one. Nelson Ledges is like an hour in the opposite direction, but
Right, right. And then it has Ducky Park on by a field, and you walk across the road, and then you can like walk in between all the rock formations, right?
I'm not really familiar with Nelson Ledges. I know Virginia Kendall better, but
Yeah, there were probably a couple of instances where I was there with friends with libations, I guess, alcohol,
yeah.
where somehow I remember being on a cliff, and then there was like a rock quarry that they turned into like a lake. I remember
Yeah.
being in a lake,
Yep.
formerly up on top of a cliff. And
That's no.
then jumping off of
Let's say because people jump.
perhaps jumping off of or daring people to jump off of the the rock formations onto trees. Like, well, the branches will catch us. Because
No,
apparently enough alcohol at that point is like, well, of course.
there's an actual place to jump off into the lake there. Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember the jumping. I just remember being wet. I remember being like, oh, well, this money's useless. It's in my wallet. Fuck. Planning ahead.
Does that?
Yeah, and it was one of those things where it was like, I don't remember driving back, and there must have been like 4 or 5 of us, so we probably took turns. I'm hoping we stopped for like coffee and soda, but don't do that, kids,
Yeah.
and drink coffee.
And water.
Oh, I have water.
Oh. I'm curiouser and curiouser.
Oh yeah, I love that mug. So tell me, what are some crazy like New Year's Eve shenanigans you've gotten into? We kind of got off topic too, like me jumping off cliffs. So
The only one I really ever remember was so that the one time that, like I said, I was going through my divorce. We were almost divorced, and I decided to drink because I normally don't. I'm normally the designated driver. I'm usually the responsible one. I just wanted to be not worrying about anything that night. So there was a group of people that we used to say good game and smack each other on the butt. And anyway, so I had already been drinking, and I went walk into the bar, and I thought this person was one of my friends, and I walked up to him and smacked him so hard I left a bruise on his butt, and I said good game. And when he turned around, I was like, you're not who I thought you were.
oh,
Guy at all. Didn't know him at all. And he was good friends of a guy that I did know though. And the guy that I didn't know that I smacked across the butt actually lived at like 4 hours away in New York or 5 hours away or something. And so he got my phone number, and I kept telling him I'm not divorced yet. He waited until the divorce was final, and he kept texting me and asked me out on a date. And he drove all the way from New York to Kent and then took me up to Cleveland for like this really, really nice dinner. And he had this gorgeous bouquet of flowers. But like throughout the dinner, I was just kind of like, yeah, this is a really nice guy, but this is just not, there's some things that he's saying and some things that he believes in that it's not clicking with me. This is not gonna work out, type thing. And so we get back to my apartment, and I basically said, thanks for a good night, and got out of the car, and I didn't even kiss him or anything. And he had just spent like all that time and money driving from New York to Kent, then up to Cleveland, then back to Kent, and bought this, paid for this meal and these flowers. I felt really, really bad, but like all from me smacking him on the butt really hard when I was drunk and I didn't know him.
wow, that's a tale I haven't heard before.
Yeah, that was.
You think you know someone? Oh yeah, that reminds me.
I wasn't divorced yet either. And I kept telling him, hey, I'm not gonna do this until the divorce is final, and because that was New Year's Eve, and we didn't till Valentine's Day, so it was like 6 weeks. He kept interesting me, and he kept texting me every day for 6 weeks after that. Yeah. Anyways, that's my story.
I mean, sometimes there's just no connection, but oh my God. I had the opposite kind of thing happen where it was really horrible. And I remember, I think I was in a bar in Kent, which is pretty much how all these stories start for New Year's. But
Bar in Kent.
I remember I was standing there, when you like need a pitcher and you're waiting for the person to like fill it and bring it back to the edge of the counter so you can take it to the table. Probably the Loft or the Zephyr or one of those places. And this big burly dude came up to me, and I was standing there, and I was like, well, it's a line, so he's gonna get behind me. And next thing I know, these big meat hook fucking hands just come up right on my chest and squeeze me. He was just like, there you are, Martha. Think you can get away from me, huh? And I was like, sir. And he's just like, and I turned around with the picture, and he was just like this with his eyes half closed. He's like, well, now that you're older, I guess you let your figure go, but you know where to find me. And he was like,
Oh.
and the barmaid behind me was just, I turned around and she was just like, and I was like, bye. And then she was like, what's this to the other barmaid? And then she was like, and I was just there with my picture, like, there's not enough alcohol in here. Mopping it back over to the table. My friends were like, just drink.
Funny.
I'm just, like, sitting there, like, waiting. And I had my hands on the counter. So that's why, like, these hands just, I didn't even, because I had them up, like, on the counter like this. So that's why I didn't even see, there's no mirror or anything. So I didn't even see him behind me. I just heard him kind of standing there. And all of a sudden I'm like, fuck, man.
Yep.
You let your figure go, Martha.
I've been at a bar in Cuyahoga Falls where, we've been out drinking everything, and I've had on more than one occasion, probably at least 3 times, where another woman has come up to me and been like, "Are your boobs real? You have a boob job done?" And I'm like, "Nope."
Are they like,
these all belong to me? And like, yeah, they're like, "Can I touch them?" I'm like, "Really? Really?"
like you at first you're like, is she
Women.
been drunk?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and yeah, my group of friends thought that was hilarious. Yeah.
That's what friends are for, to mock you in public.
Right? Yeah. So
I have been pretty drunk before where I did the stereotypical playing darts and missed the dartboard by a lot and hit somebody in the back with a dart. Luckily, it was the I don't know what you call it, the not pointy end, the feather end or whatever. And they just turned around and they were like, what the? And I remember going like this when they turned around and were like this. I had another dart and I was like pretending to be fucking wasted. So I had the dart in my hand. I was just like, trying to like pretend to throw it up in the air or something. And they were like, take care of your friend. I'm like, oh, there's no taking care of him. So, I mean, have you ever had instances like that where you've been like really drunk and you've like hit somebody with the pull cue or something, or the darts, or
like, again, because I don't drink a lot. I don't really get blackout drunk, but I have somehow spilled coffee on on my back before.
on his back?
Does that happen? I don't know how that happened, but literally one of my friends was like, "Only you could accomplish this." Like, I was pouring something and I turned around real quick.
Oh, you over the shoulder?
No, not over the shoulder. It was on the table, about the level of my waist, and somehow when I turned, something hit the cup and it spilled it on the back of me. But yeah, like, who? I don't know who does that. Me. Like, I'm the only person that can accomplish spilling a liquid on my back pocket, like when I'm facing forward trying to drink it. And yeah, I don't know how it happens. It's very complicated.
I remember being out with a group of friends. Oh God, this had to be like maybe 6 months or a year after I first moved to California, and a bunch of like our work friends went out, and we were already kind of drunk. And then my coworker's girlfriend was telling the story about her friend cheating on her boyfriend. Not her boyfriend, but her friend. It's just a story, right? It wasn't related to her at all. And then she was just like, and like the timing was awesome. And there was this girl at the bar, and she was just standing there, and she had her like beer or whatever. And I remember looking over her like, man, is that girl gonna fall over? And then I kind of put it out of my mind. And then the girl was telling the story, and she was getting louder. And when we've had a couple of drinks, you tend to get kind of loud when you're telling the story. And then she was just like, she was just like, and then she just like, that's what happened to the relationship. And I said, like, that just means you're a whore. And then that lady had at the bar that had beer walked over and it looked like she was gonna like fall. And I was on the inside of the booth and I just remember being like, no, slow motion looking. And she walked up to the girl and the girl was just like, like laughing. She just finished telling the story. She walked up and poured her beer on the girl's head and said, "Boo, you whore," and then walked away. And the girl was like, uh, and we were just like, what just happened? Like, her story was great enough, but the girl thought she was talking about herself. And then she just had no inhibitions, fucking blackout drunk, just had the beer, came over and poured it on her head, was like, right in her face, and was like, "Boo, you whore." And walked away. We were like, and then my coworker, who's girlfriend, he's like, "I'm sorry, honey, but that was the greatest fucking thing I've ever seen. Take pictures of her, please. Like, you assholes." And we're just like, I mean, he's right. So to this day, anybody has a story that needs like that little end to it, like it only works if you're at a bar, but boo, you whore. Nothing's gonna ever top that. Especially, and then the girl just kept on walking. We never saw her again that night, so she probably just went somewhere a couple tables away, put her glass down, and walked out into the night for all we know. Boo, you whore.
Craziness. Aww.
But on that note, I guess we better wrap up this New Year's special. So I just want to say that I myself am thankful for my daughter Amy. She's the best thing that has or will happen to me, and I'm hoping to have a better year financially, and of course, creatively, some things are kind of in the works. So I'm hoping that kind of pans out. I'm really thankful for my family and friends. And yeah, I'll leave it over to you. I know you've had a rough year as well. And, I'm just really hoping that, 2022 is just the year that we've been wanting since 2019.
Right. Yeah, I mean, same. I'm just super thankful my mom is still with us. Thankful that, my husband and my daughter, again, to the two best things that have ever happened to me. And just, we have a roof over our head. We've got plenty of food. I have a job that I will never be out of work with, being a nurse and the shortage right now. So I have endless opportunities for employment. And those are, yeah, even if it does work me to death, but
but you're so needed, and hopefully you do feel appreciated by your family and your friends. And
yeah,
it's like people like me that reach out and we want to do things like this creatively. It's because we want to spend time with you. We know you have a job and you're a mom and you have all these obligations. It's the holidays. It's crazy. You're working with and around people that are stressed and they're crazy, and traffic sucks and people are distracted on their phones, and it's craziness. So hopefully come like January 2nd or 3rd, it just really comes the fuck down.
I hope so. With COVID and all that right now, it'll probably get worse before it gets better. But yeah, we'll see where that, hopefully it doesn't last long. It didn't last long last year once the weather started changing and stuff. But yeah, thankfully a lot of people do reach out and tell me how much they appreciate, the job that I do. And
everybody just wants that piece of Jenn. They're like, but it's my turn to have a piece of Jenn. Me.
Oh, thank you. Makes me.
I mean, how many times I have to tell you? You just clone yourself.
Right?
I wish I could work on it. When you're sleeping, just be like, you're already sleepwalking. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Well, let me be the first to say, Happy New Year, and I hope you get everything that you deserve, and I hope it turns out to be the best year yet for you.
Same back at you. Thank you.
All right, everybody, I'm getting really cold and I need to put some clothes on. So it's I'll be
Bye.
Who's the idiot now?